Hello, everybody. Today I'll be reading a Donatello X Reader story, Chapter 3. If you want to read along with me or read the story yourself, I'll leave the information in the description below. I'd like to give credit to Kill or Be Killed Queen for creating this story, and Sarcastic Chorus for the background video. I'll be leaving them both in the description below as well. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, I think I got it. You may be going stir crazy. You wonder, you would not be surprised if you were, but you have more pressing matters than that, ridiculously, involve the timeline of the Ninja Turtles from 2012. You had not just stood the heresy of season 4 and 5, but conquered it. Tamed it, if you will. You don't even remember the last time you ate. So, the only way I'm going to survive this series is if I somehow, through some sort of spiritual bullshit, get to become at least somewhat adept at ninjutsu. You sigh. But the only reason he trained this April is because of her psychic bullshit. You stumble towards the kitchen to eat for the first time in days. Actually, you know what? Fuck that. You open the refrigerator, salivating at the food. I'm just gonna buy a frickin' gun. Dodge bullish, bitch. You pull out a large slab of meat, tossing it on the counter. If they aren't going to actually incorporate people, I will. A sudden thought stops you in your tracks. Wait, so, what timeline am I on? You feel your heart drop. Because if we're doing the whole thing, you shake your head. You know what? Prepare for the best and accept. Wait, that's backwards. You put the meat back. Something about the existential dread kills your appetite. You crawl back into bed, close your eyes. How long have I been here? The time had admittedly swirled in on itself, your brain completely fried from all the contemplating death. At least I'm long enough to be in the no man's land where I'm not hungry. You freeze up at the sound of knocking on your window. Your eyes slowly pan over to the covered glass, and you raise your feet. You shake your head, trying to remember to think rationally. This place is very high off the ground, so it can't be a stalker. Despite yourself, you quickly go to the kitchen and grab the largest frying pan you can find and slowly approach the window. There isn't even a proper ledge out there. You're just being paranoid, you tell yourself. But slowly, you reach for the curtain and you yank it open, and then scream at the sight of the hanging figure, only to realize you recognize said figure after a couple of seconds. Thoroughly embarrassed. Yeah, I could never be a ninja. You slide the window open, face red. What do you want, Raphael? He wears a shit-eating grin. What, scared? Of a shadowy figure in my window? Yes. You sit back down on the bed, voice cold. You gonna just hang out there or what? He climbs inside. Alright, so here's the situation. He sits on the windowsill, and you feel for a second-hand vertigo. Donnie, first of all, where have you been? Being in the most traumatic part of your lives so far on my phone, so you and your brothers don't get killed by Swole Shredder. His face went pale. Shredder? Binging the most traumatic part of your lives so far on my phone, so you and your brothers don't get killed by Swole Shredder. His face went pale. Shredder? You blink. A factor you had admittedly completely forgotten becoming apparent. Oh, that's right. You don't know he intends to come to the city. You remember. He what? You sigh. He's the he's the least of your concerns at this particular moment. So, what about Donatello? No, back up. His smile was completely gone now. When is he getting here? You shrug. I don't know. You don't know? You put your hands up at his obvious rage. Dude, it's honestly not that big of a deal right now. He doesn't even get close to killing your dad until the end of season 2. You are decidedly not helping matters. He gets close to. Are you gonna repeat everything I say, or are you gonna tell me what's going on? I'm gonna. What? What? Raph is quite clearly not taking this news well. You try to calm him down. Take a deep breath. Alright? I might not. It might not get to that point. But you have to tell me what's going on first. He growls in frustration, but follows your instructions nonetheless. Mikey found out that he can apparently talk to people online, and he found this site where he can talk. I'm gonna stop you right there. You pick up your phone, typing away. You can't, under any circumstance, let him talk to Bradford. Well, I know it would be bad. You misunderstand. You interrupt again, and get up, starting to grab some things. Bradford is working for the Shredder. This is clearly news to him, based on his expression. He's what? Working for the Shredder, you repeat yourself. But he's... how? You have bigger concerns than the how currently. You read the page you had pulled up again. How long ago did he find this guy? Yesterday, I think. Then, hold on. You read the summary of the episode in question more thoroughly. Okay, so we aren't totally fucked, but we gotta make sure he doesn't see him again. Wait, hold on. He walks after you as you try to find your jacket. Why? How could Shredder... If he goes, he's gonna talk to him about general bullshit, right? You slip it on. At least, at some point, in return for learning his secret stuff, moves and crap, he's gonna want info. He's gonna want some info on you and your dad and your brothers. Then Shredder will know where we are. The horror in his eyes is apparent. Exactly. You pull on your shoes. That, and you'll have to confront foot soldiers, which isn't good for anyone. Wait, is Mikey gonna be alright? I mean, he gets kidnapped, but we're going right now. Awesome. You were already 1 foot out the door. Close the window on your way out. You rush down to the first floor of the building, nodding in acknowledgement to the doorman as you look up and down the street. He has a dojo or something, right? You try Googling his dojo, only to find that not only is it a chain, but that they are all incredibly spread out. It's at times like these that you contemplate, running towards the closest one, that I wish I could drive. It takes you about 10 minutes of running to get to the place, only for it to be closed. You feel tempted to throw your phone. Wait, when does it... Hold on. You already hate timelines. You sit down on the curb, pulling your phone out again to find some clips. So, Chris and Mikey meet up sometime after patrol, order pizza, and then it's sunrise. You look up at the slowly lightening sky. Okay, so that means they're currently ordering, right? Because it was dark in that last scene. You put your head in your hand. I mean, it is, right? Because those are just wall separator things, not windows. Since the sky was very clearly green in that next scene. You get to your feet. So I just need to find that billboard with the specific graffiti and main message, and we're good to go. Right? You groan. But there have to be 1,000 billboards in fucking New York City. Ugh. You stop, smiling slightly at the graffiti. Wait, is that not a purple dragon? You grin, going back to running. I just need to get to Chinatown, right? It's in that territory. You swallow, turning a street corner. Guess we'll find out. The buildings tower around you as you wander the streets, the quiet desolation ringing in your ears with the force of a gong. The pounding of your feet against the pavement does little to stifle the silence. The gang in question may not be a challenge or concern for vigilantes, but to you? You're barely a flower now, bright and beautiful and, oh so easy to crush. But you can't just but you cannot and will not stand still for long. The walls of the alley you run crush your sides as the darkness strangles you. But despite the beating of your heart begging you to stop, you cannot. I mean, how could you? You can't stop what comes next. That's just exactly what fuels you. Never mind the fact that you must stumble to a halt to vomit in the nearest dumpster, who knows how many times, the taste of acid staining your tongue. You can rewrite history in a show, but still history. But maybe you can't. You walk around for approximately too long before correctly citing that this is, in fact, futile. You start to panic. You turn back around. He goes back to talk to his brothers, right? You feel your body start to shake. You keep your phone to your ear, pretending to talk to someone as you run around like a headless chicken to not get bothered. Hopefully. And I still have a chance to catch him before he leaves, right? At least he won't get kidnapped. You look around quickly, slipping into an alleyway and prying off a manhole cover, climbing into the sewer. You pull the cover back into place and start running along with them. The smell nauseating and the darkness suffocating. Please tell me I remember where this stupid lair is. You laugh in relief when you see the abandoned subway, sprinting down the tunnel. I can catch him, you promise yourself. I can catch him before you slam into one. You slam into someone, and they grab your wrist before you can fall. Yo, you alright? Mikey! You feel your whole body relax, but the relief is quickly squashed. Thank fuck. You grab his shoulders. You can't see Bradford again. Wait, what? He groaned. Did Raph set you up to this? What? No. As the adrenaline and panic start to wear off, you feel your body begin to falter at the excessive Shronus physical activity panic. No food or water for 2 days, and everything else, including sleep deprivation. It all begins to kick in at once. You dig your fingernails into your palms to try to keep yourself grounded. You just said that you were friends with them or something, and I went looking for you. Look, he sighed, letting go of you and not noticing the obvious slur in your voice. I get it, alright? Not all of us can have a super awesome friend like Chris. He's working for Shredder, dipshit. You feel the ground spinning as your skull rips itself apart. Coolness be gone, that bitch-ass dog-pound fucker. You have no idea what you're saying. Huh, you muse, struggling to stay on your feet. Usually it takes longer than this to shut down. Shredder? You cannot feel anything. You have no idea what his reaction really is. He's here? Yeah. And with that, you collapse. Suffice it to say, when you woke up, you feel like absolute, complete shit. With a pounding headache, extreme fatigue, and an obvious desire to not move from the bed in which you lay. Thinking hurts, so you decide against it for the time being. You can hear typing, soft murmuring, the scratching of a pencil against paper. You don't even want to open your eyes. Whatever you're laying under is warm. You try flexing your fingers. You can, but it's barely worthy of being called a twitch. You feel sick and gross and sticky, like you're eating yourself from the inside out. But you're also very aware that moving will not help matters. Besides, what small part of you is not covered is freezing. You let out a soft groan from a particularly egregious pound from your head. You hear the typing stop. Yen? Donatello's voice is incredibly soft. Are you alright? You don't answer. Your throat feels like it's filled with sand. Oh, right. You feel the mattress shift under you. Right. He clears his throat. You, probably want to know what happened, right? You find yourself in between sleep and consciousness. You don't know you don't know exactly what he's saying and don't fully understand it, but his voice is pleasant to listen to. Mikey carried you back, he explains. He said you started talking about Chris Bradford working for the shredder and collapsed. A pause. Leo thought it would be a good idea to go take him down since he already spilled the beans. You aren't helping. Everyone got out all right. He's writing something. We don't know how much Shredder knows or how he found us. Master Splinters said that the war has just begun or something to that effect. He pauses again, his voice almost hesitant now. If you spoke, I'd ask how this ends, who wins the day. He chuckles dryly. Now that I say it out loud, I guess it's pretty clear that you wouldn't tell me, would you? Rightfully slow, I guess. I don't know exactly how that sort of information might change things. Still, he sighs. It's so frustrating having information just barely out of my reach. Especially for someone like me. But you probably know that too, don't you? It's not as if you can refute what he says. He clears his throat. Anyways, he rambles, voice tight with awkwardness. Sorry for ranting. This would be totally embarrassing if you weren't so clearly incapable of coherent thought. You hear the shuffling of paper. As far as your health is concerned, he continues, without being able to take a blood test for obvious reasons, I can only conclude based on a totally not creepy physical exam that you're just incredibly malnourished and exhausted. I don't really have anything to actually prescribe you, but, eat, drink too. Just perform basic bodily functions. He looks down at you from his seat at the foot of his bed. Your eyes, having fluttered shut again. He took a breath, starting again. Remember what you said the other day? About me being able to kill you with my bare hands. He looks back over at the line of code he's working on, ignoring the minute shaking in his hands. I remember. Do I kill someone? He swallows, eyes focusing on the letters in front of him. I can't really imagine it. Why I'd want to. He covers his face with his hands. I know I'm a ninja, but it's just... He feels his voice start to rise, his eyes focusing on your sleeping face, and he calms back down for your sake. His words are slow and deliberate. I always thought that we were doing all this for a fight we'd never have, that we would never have to do something like that, because, well, I don't remember why, but His voice dies in his throat. Staring at her is creepy when I do it. He stands up, gathering his things. You can get yourself worked up over something like this. You just met her. And your hesitance isn't anyone else's problem but yourself. Despite himself, he mumbles out a soft plea. Please, don't let me do something stupid. He doesn't know who he's talking to. You, maybe himself, maybe something else entirely. He slips out of the room. You wouldn't remember this ever happened, but he would. He would. And that's the end of chapter 3. I hope you guys liked it. Please like and subscribe and check out some of my other videos.